talk. It's time to rock. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the A-team, myself, Brad. and who's this dude down here, Brad?
The Rock Professor. Happy birthday, Simon.
The old boy.
we really snuck that one past us, but we I saw it pop up on Facebook. I thought, you cheeky bugger. Yeah. We better say happy birthday on the show, mate. So a big happy birthday, mate. I hope you had a great one, mate. Did you catch up with your family? And I saw your photos.
Oh, you'll be pleased to know that that as it's my birthday, I had to take them all out for dinner on Friday.
You paid for it? Did you pay for it?
Because yes, Dad has to pay. It's like, as I say, when it's their birthday, I have to take them out. And when it's my birthday, I still have to take them out.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Dad. Get your wallet out.
Yeah.
Get your wallet out, yes.
What we could do, though, what we could do, ladies and gentlemen, Brad and Simon, is we could be complete grifters and, like, advertise our birthdays, like, 3 weeks out and then do a show and solicit and beg and then beg for super chats.
Free gifts.
That sounds familiar.
No.
Hey?
That sounds familiar.
Oh dear.
No, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that, would we? But it could. You don't know. Fundraising.
Our birthday wishes all the way from Australia and New Zealand to you, Simon. Happy birthday, mate.
Well, thank you very much. It's very kind. I had a lovely birthday. It was really nice. Just a small amount of cake.
You don't look a day over 35, mate.
Yes, thank you very much. I went to my brother's last night. Just him and his wife and me. Just had we had the curry and cake and champagne.
Lovely.
Very nice indeed. But yeah, thank you, and thanks for all the kind comments and on Facebook and stuff. Everybody showing me lots of love. So that's very sweet of everyone. So thank you very much, everyone who commented, and thanks to everyone in the chat who wishing me a happy birthday as well. Thanks, guys. I'll get to you in a minute, but it's lovely. Thanks.
Yeah, always a good time to celebrate a birthday. It's always an achievement. Couple of things that we want to do, folks, before we get into the show. Obviously, we're looking forward to this. We're going to have a bit of a roundtable chat about this album, but it's my pleasure to say again once more on behalf of the channel, thanks, Alan, for jumping on last week and hanging out with us. It's always a great thing when somebody can jump on that's close to us, obviously, and be part of the show. So there might be another surprise, I understand.
Yeah, possibly. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Cool, fantastic. Yeah, it was lovely to see your mum. Really good.
Oh, that's good. I think she enjoyed it, which is great.
Yeah. That's lovely to get people on. Really nice. So
yeah,
that's cool. We should say happy birthday also to Ringo Starr. It was 83 yesterday. Day before 7th. Not quite sharing a birthday with me.
There's a high caliber of people getting born around the same time here, Simon.
Indeed.
Yeah, Ringo's a legend.
Yeah, me and Ringo Starr. Yeah, he's more of a legend than I am. But I'll just show this. This is something I got for my birthday. This is what Caroline, one of the things she got for me for my birthday, which is this.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh yeah,
it's basically it's a picture. You see, it's actually she's got it turned into a picture.
Wow!
The cover, which is
very
cool. It's like a very cool. Yeah. She stole the box set, took it into town to get it done. I didn't even notice. And the bloke in the shop where she got it, he said, "Oh, that's worth a lot of money. You better get that back quick before he notices."
Oh, that's great. That's got to go on the wall. That's got to go straight to the pool room.
Straight to the pool room, brother.
Straight to the pool room. Straight to the music room. I got this. She got this one as well, which I put on my Facebook. This is me standing up on. That's me standing up on the watermill.
Oh wow.
Where I was born in Dorset, and my mum and
That-
dad, and my two sisters and my brother. It's lovely, yeah.
That's on your Facebook page too. I noticed that you
It
posted
is, yeah.
that a couple of days ago.
Yeah, because I found it in my mum and dad's house as we're going through it slowly. I found it.
Fantastic.
The original photograph.
That's
Fantastic.
awesome.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting for our packages. Brad's got notification that his is going to be coming any day. New Zealand Customs are still scanning mine for political messages, for subversive contraband.
24 takes 24 nights to get through it. It says so on the cover. Yes.
They looked at the cover and they said, "Let's make him wait 24 nights."
Yeah,
24 nights. That's what it says on the cover. That's what he's gonna have to wait. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with mine now, Andrew, because every time I look up my tracking, it tells me the tracking number's incorrect. So I don't know what that means.
We'll keep you guys posted, because obviously, part and parcel of what we want to do on the channel too, folks, is work out. And we mentioned this last show, didn't we? That we were going to go through and do all the tracks. So we look forward to that. Before Brad kicks off the channel proper, the show proper, thank you too if anybody here watched the Hofner bass video that I did from what I perceive to be a guitar player's perspective. Over 1,000 views. So really appreciate it. If anybody here watched it, thank you.
I watched it and I addressed it last week, Andrew, when I told you. I said it was brilliant. So
thank you, bro.
done.
Thank you, bro. And I put all those links on the video too, as well as, ladies and gentlemen, at the top of the channel, on the top of the comments, if you're watching on a replay or if you're here and you've missed the 2 shows that we've already done. We did a ranking of the track, and about 2 years ago, Brad and I did a midweek special about why Philip Sayce matters. So go and check that out too.
Yes, beautiful. I'm glad you mentioned those, because they were fun shows we did. Just off the cuff, they were very, very cool. And I'm glad we're doing some of Philip Sayce's records on this channel, because it stems back to that British Electric Blues. A lot of what Philip does. So there's a lot of that influence there in his playing. So, but guys, are we ready to dive into the show and
yeah.
Before we start, I'm going to say hello to everyone in the chat.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You've got 15. Yeah, of course.
I know we've got enough. So good morning to Gret Zeppelin, Hugh Caldwell, Ellen, of course. Good morning, Ellen. Hugh Caldwell, Holly. Good morning, Holly. Got the mug as ever. Who else we got? Jimmy Ray Hawkins. Morning, Jimmy Ray. Hope you're well. From Southern California, sleepy Southern California. That would be, yes. Brad is in the chat as well. We've got John. Yeah, time out. John ZD 351. Morning, John. Hope you're well. Good to see you, Johnny Heartbreaker. Thank you for the happy birthday, John. It's very kind, and everybody else who's written it in the chat as well. Thanks so much, guys. It's Greg Roberts Tune. Morning, Greg. Good to see you. Jazz under 50. Morning, Jim. It's good to see you too. Hope you're well. North of the border. I think that's everybody who has made a comment. So, if you want me to say hi, make a comment, and I will.
I just saw a comment from John ZD351. Peace and love. Yeah, that's Ringo's birthday wish. So I think we should all say it. Peace and love. Peace and love, guys. Peace and love.
Yeah, outstanding. So, bro, are you going to do a bit of an intro, and then we're going to do a bit of a quick round table on this album, and then we'll kick off the rankings?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I've kept it pretty brief because I really want to get into the tracks and do a deep dive and all that. But, if anyone's not aware of who Philip Sayce is, you should be. Philip Sayce is like a protege of, obviously, Jeff Healey. He toured with Jeff Healey in the end of the 90s. Through Toronto and internationally. Jeff Healey, obviously a master of the blues rock guitar, and the late Jeff Healey is dearly missed. And I'm sure Philip Sayce, during that period of time with Jeff Healey, was absorbing a lot of that energy that Jeff Healey puts into his guitar playing at the time, because it shows in this record. And I think that's why I brought it up. If you didn't know who Philip Sayce is and who his background, a lot of Jeff Healey's influences is in his playing. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed that in the record. There's a lot of it there. Philip Sayce then obviously had a 4-year run with Melissa Etheridge as a guitarist in Melissa Etheridge's group when he moved to LA, and he went solo in 2020. I think it was 2009. He's built up obviously a very large fan base, through his own music, and he's toured the continent with Deep Purple, ZZ Top, and also on his own right, as Philip Sayce. In 2015, Warner Music Canada picked him up, and Spirit Rising, the album came out. It was produced by Michael Nielsen, who produced the Peace Machine record, which is the one that we ranked a couple of months ago now, guys, about 8 weeks or something like that. And Philip Sayce recorded this album and released it in 2020 when the unfortunate pandemic came out, and obviously it had a large effect on his ability to go out and tour behind the record. And I think that might be one of the things we're all going to talk about after I do this. But it quickly became a very popular album for Philip Sayce, and it's actually one of his most popular albums now. His streaming through Spotify is outrageously good, and he deserves it. Burning Out, Spirit, 555, Black Roller Coming, they're all getting millions of streams, which is fantastic to see. The entire record is dedicated to Philip Sayce's father, who was a massive influence with him, with his music, the music that Philip grew up listening to. And I believe he worked with songwriters like Richard Marx and the LA writing team called Distant Cousins, and Toronto's Gavin Brown, and I'm not sure if I can pronounce this, but Mahia Davies. If I've pronounced that incorrectly, I apologise. Look, for me, Spirit Rising is a much-needed shot in the arm of blues rock guitar. It's drenched in swirly psychedelic fuzz tones, wire-infused solos, big, deep guitar moments. This is one of the best guitar records of the last 10 years or more, in my opinion. Philip is without a doubt one of the most exciting and standout guitarists, singers of our generation. I hope you've all done your homework this week and listened to Spirit Rising and enjoyed every minute of it. Please feel free to give us your rankings as you do in the chat as we go along. I'm interested to see how you guys, rank these songs as well. It's a brilliant album. And guys, you got anything you want to add to this or discuss? Andrew, Simon?
Yeah, I want to mention what you briefly touched on. I've got an underlined comment here. This is my lockdown album. We went into lockdown in April 2020, and this was the album that I listened to that blew my socks away. So I'm familiar with this album, and I'm glad that Brad picked it, and I do look forward to talking about this album because it's certainly a statement as far as this music genre that we love and talk about in the modern context. As ever, we'll always be interested to hear what the Rock Professor has to say. I'm never going to assume anything here, but I think that Brad and I would probably be more familiar with this album than you, Simon. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. So it'll be interesting to see what you have to say. And I think, Brad, this was around the time when we must have connected on social media, around this. It was definitely Philip Sayce,
Yes.
that you and I connected. And again, I've got to make this point. So I'm listening to Philip Sayce and his music and hearing a lot of all awesome bands and acts that we'll probably talk about during the course of this show, folks. But then I go and see this guy on Instagram called Brad Cook Music who's playing guitar, and I'm going, holy shit. You know, in this contemporary sense, there's this guy playing some riffs, like Phillips, and then I find out, this guy's not in Canada or America or the UK, he's in Australia.
Oh, I'm chuffed. Thanks, mate.
So that's a true story. That's how. And then we got him on, and then he hasn't left, and he ain't going anywhere.
Like I said, you keep sending the heavies to my front door every time I hint that I'm leaving. They come around and go, "You're not going nowhere, mate." So, no, I appreciate that, Andrew. That's I remember. I think it was either Nick 70 or doing an Instagram live. Then we started chatting, and I think you friended me on Instagram, and then we were seeing Philip Sayce pop up on Instagram quite a bit through the pandemic, going live, and I think we started chatting then too. And one thing is a massive thing for me with this record is that it actually, this is the record that came out that said all the music I'd recorded and for my EP Time to Fly, this was the last little push to get me over the edge to become a solo artist, because I was following Philip Sayce a little bit at that particular time. Spirit Rising came out, and it actually just became that little push across the line for me to go, okay, release your stuff, because, I felt that was, it connected with me so much. It was just enough push for me and influence to give me the courage to push out my own solo stuff. So this is a very important album for me.
Fantastic. Simon.
Yeah, he's one of those sort of, and there's a bit of a crop, isn't there, of those Canadian guitar players. The country, Ariel, Joey Landreth, him. I know he's probably a little bit older than those, but there's clearly this little sort of a little crop of people coming through in that kind of modern, what I would call modern blues, genre that I think is interesting. And I think there's definitely a, not necessarily musical style wise, but the tie up there and sort of the talent north of the American border that's coming through. You're right. I mean, I've not, as ever with these things, it's not really heard of Philip Sayce until Brad started talking to him. And clearly we've ranked one of his albums before, and Peace Machine, and and I think it's because music is so disparate and so huge. I think people can arrive and be part of it, and you don't ever hear of them, do you? And all of a sudden they kind of pop up, or somebody points you in the direction, and you go, and you're off on a new journey. So I've been really pleased, and I'm going to be lucky enough to see Philip Sayce play in Bristol. He's playing at Bristol in November, so I'm going to that as it's my friend's pub. So I can.
Yes.
So with a bit of luck, I can go and say hi from Brad. That's my plan.
Go and say hi and introduce yourself too, Simon, because he's a very humble, wonderful human being. So I'm sure he'll be very kind to you. And he's a very. I mean, I've become friends with him through the beauty of technology, and blessing and curse sometimes. But so I managed to. We've become friends, and so he's been very encouraging through all my health problems and stuff like that, and about my music, and very complimentary towards my playing and that. So he's been, as you guys know, and I talk about him a lot. I'm a fan. I really dig Philip Sayce. He's amazing, and I'm jealous that you get to go watch him play, because
me too.
I've watched that many things online, but I just want to go and see him live. Experience it. I'm jealous, but happy for you at the same time, but extremely jealous that you've seen Led Zeppelin and now you're going to see Philip Sayce.
Philip, come to Australia and New Zealand. Stay at Brad's place and come and stay at mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy.
I've told him. He can use any of my gear. He doesn't have to bring nothing.
Don't know where your roadies and your crew are going to stay, but we've got plenty of room for you.
So he's playing. I'll just give him a shout. Bristol on the 19th of November, Manchester on the 20th of November, Newcastle on the 21st, Glasgow on the 23rd, and
Brilliant.
Leeds on the 24th, and London on the 25th. Tickets are on sale on his website if anybody in the UK is interested in going to see him.
Yeah.
Guys, north of Wood. As I say, I'm definitely going to the Bristol gig.
I think Greg might be going too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you can rub shoulders with Greg too.
Greg, he's going to be on Sunday the 19th of November. He's going to be playing at the Fleece in Bristol. Beautiful. If you're going, give me a shout.
Yeah, go and shout Andrew a beer or something, or a stiff drink, from the bar.
Oh, Hugh's going too.
Yeah. He's going to the Glasgow gig. Nice one, Hugh.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Jim's thinking about it.
That's fantastic. We've got a few people in the chat going to see your show, Philip. So we're doing everything we can from our channel angle.
What we may have to do after the Rock Professor and Hugh have gone to see him, we might have to do a live 1 hour special a review. What do you reckon on the channel?
Yeah. You can be a roving reporter for the
roving reporter live. Live from the Fleece in Bristol.
Yeah,
sounds like a plan. You want to kick off the show, bro?
Yeah, I think we should. Look, I think we should. So the album opens with a real slap across the face of blistering guitar, and it's like an instrumental piece, short and sweet. It incorporates fuzz, reverb, delays, feedback, and blistering fretboard work. I love the way that he uses the wah pedal. I love the delay at the end, and I'm sure he's using the delay to get like an oscillation effect going to end it. Straight out of the gate, we're hit with, what's to come for the rest of the album. It's like a little palate teaser, I guess, like a bit of garlic bread before you eat the pasta. Straight out of the gate, I have to give this like 10 out of 10, just for the fact that it's such a huge impact. I remember hearing this for the first time when I got it downloaded on iTunes, and I couldn't believe that you'd start an album this way, but at the same time, it just suits the whole album. The more you listen to the record, it's like, wow, it's just it's fantastic. So 10 out of 10 for me, guys. Who's next, Andrew or Simon?
Me,
Rock Professor, brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, but it's a call to us. It's just a statement of opening, isn't it? A great squall of feedback and electronic noise, and and then some kind of fast playing, soloing that kind of portend what is to come. I would say, yes. in a good way, in a very cool way. It's interesting to have that as a kind of intro to the album. What I'm like about programming and about things leading to other things. I think that it's interesting that you have that kind of what do you call it, sort of prologue thing at the beginning, just as a warm up, and to think I'm not going to quite go 10. I'm going to go 7 out of 10, but never a skip. I think it's an intro, and it's fine. It works as an intro, and it works perfectly. As we go into the first proper track, but it's 7 from me. Brad, you're not going to shoot me for that.
No, you're not going to get timed out for that. No,
that's right.
Well, he might.
Yeah, might still. It gets better, I promise.
Yeah. Look, I got to agree with Brad, folks, and obviously Hugh's fantastic comment there. It's just feedback. It's just wonderful, and I don't want to give too much away before we actually go through and do the album, folks. But this is one bookend of this album, and if you haven't watched it or haven't thought about it, maybe in the context of this track and something else that happens, you might get it. But I agree with Brad. It's just a fiery piece of musicality by Phil. And I'm going to think, I think, Brad, I think this is something that he may have put on after he'd done the tracks. maybe it was some frustration coming through because he knew he couldn't do anything with this album, bro. You know, so we'll just crank it up and smack it in your face and give you a warning shot. Certainly does it. But I agree with Brad. When I first heard it, was like, holy, we won't swear, holy cow.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for me too.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I have to time myself out for that. It's,
look, 7 out of 10 is still a great score, but I think, without sort of wrapping up and summarizing it, it just shows his ability to control feedback and utilize effects and everything like that properly, in my opinion. He's just, and warning shot, I guess it's like, well, this is what's coming, get ready. And
well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh yes, that's why I never skip it as a thing. But it's scoring other songs, and I'm all about the song as a thing.
Yeah,
Ellen agrees with you, Brad. She's given it 9 out of 10 too.
Yeah, you see,
obviously got good taste. So we get to the next track, Fits Me Good. Look, it's an up-tempo intro. It's got like a funky blues feel. It's a great second track and a great vocal from Philip as well. Around the 42-second mark, the song really takes off. Great lyrics, great melody and catchy chorus, fantastic drumming, and the bass is really locked into the drumming. The great guitar overdubbing as well from Philip. Like, you've got the main guitar track and then the overdubbing over the top just to give color and texture without it being too much. It just sounds amazing. It's very much highlighted in this song that Philip has a very natural ability to create rhythm with his right hand. Very much like Hendrix and Stevie Ray. They're picking hand. I mean, Hendrix was his left hand, but Stevie Ray his right hand. So the picking hand, as I'm saying, it's like a rolling rhythm, just the way he plays, and you can't get it wrong when you can play rhythm like that. So great guitar solo, blistering wah-wah work. If anyone wants to hear how to use a wah properly, you've got to listen to Philip Sayce. And I love that drenched reverb sound as well. Fits Me Good. I have to give it 10 out of 10, guys. I think it's like the real first track of the album. The first one's like a warning, second one, and I just think it takes the album to a great start. Simon.
Yeah, I yes, absolutely. It's a proper statement of intent, isn't it? It's coming in, big riff, big drums, and it's what my friend Gerard would call a $20,000 drum sound. It's the drums sound great, and but very much a rock thing as well. So you're talking about having the squally feedback and the sort of warning shot. Then you come banging in, and absolutely a statement of intent as to what you're going to do on this record and how you're going to approach it. I think that it's in terms of its length, in terms of, as you say, Brad, it's melodic choruses are clearly the thing on this record, absolutely, and his trademark kind of emphatic soloing, but kind of kept. There's not any kind of really long tracks and any really long solos on here. It's all kind of very compact and focused and organized. One feels great production. I think you can tell there's several guitar parts on this track, and it's not just one. And also, is the vocals treated? Is it just reverb on them, or is it other stuff on there as well? It sounded kind of interesting, robotic.
Yeah, it's got like an effect on it, but that's how Phillips. But the delivery is fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Oh, it's another interesting thing that you treat your vocals so that they sound a bit different and things, and that gives it a more interesting thing. So, I mean, I think that the amazing thing is for me is that, and it's all over the record, is that the solos. And I saw, if you go and watch him on YouTube, like, he can't resist it, can he? I mean, it just comes out of him, like flows out of him, and off he goes. It's amazing to listen to and indeed to watch. you know, that it all kind of comes flowing out of his fingers and things, you know, blistering, you know, passionate solos that are fantastic. And as I say, you know, when they're sort of confined into a 3-minute song, it's you know, they kind of burst out, don't they? Like sort of explode out of the sound. I think it's a great track. 9 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. Absolutely great opener. I can understand completely why you'd open with this album. You know, it's a real bang.
Yeah,
Andrew.
Yeah, I have to agree with what you guys are saying. Yes, Greg, Philip is Welsh, born in Wales and went to Canada when he was, 5 or 6, Brad, if I remember rightly, that video that we did. You know, he was a young fella, so definitely part of the connection that we all are. Fits me good. Gosh, I have to back up everything that Brad and the Rock Professor have said. You know, I love the drums on this track. Certainly, it's a standout, and we love hearing that on these first opening tracks of a rock blues album, don't we? So important. It's so important, that drum and bass foundation. The Rock Professor already mentioned it too. Awesome chorus. You know, it's got that lovely melodic chorus going on, which again's not an easy thing to do, but very clever from Philip with his first songs. Bit of that rockiness, Brad, and then he's got that melody chorus, which is so important as a songwriter performer goes. There was one point that I want to make too, is, you know, clearly he's putting himself into the tradition of everything that we love and hold dearly, and there's more to come. There's more to come, but, you know, the great thing about Philip is that power that he has transcends that, and it's very much who he is. Go and check out his Instagram accounts. He's on there often, and he just gets lost into that first 2 or 3 notes, Brad. It's phenomenal. Look, I've given this 9 out of 10. Never a skip, Brad.
That's great. So we come up to the next track, which is Black Roller Coming, and for me, this song's got like a very retro feel, very retro blues feel. I love the effect on the vocal. I call it like a bullhorn type effect. It's got like that sort of bullhorn effect. Very catchy chorus. The infectious kick drum thing, it's like the stomp feel. It's remarkable, and it's infectious. It draws you in. You sort of get sucked into this song. It's a short song, and you sort of get lost in it by the time the song's finished. You know, I think it's 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Yeah.
By the time the song's finished, you're kind of lost in it. You're like, wow, where did that go? Because it is so infectious. And what else have I got here? Just a blistering guitar solo. Sounds like it's done on like a resonator style guitar. I know he's got a resonator, like a mule style guitar. I think the brand's called Mule. I may have that wrong, but I don't quote me on that. But I have to give Philip like credit for his amazing vocal ability. He's got a great voice, and throughout this album, his vocal is like a highlight for me. This song included. I gave this 8.5 out of 10, guys, and never a skip. Simon.
Yeah, it's a great thing, as you say, that the vocals are kind of have the same kind of treated effect on them, which is, you know, carry over from track 1. You know, there's a similarity there, a line between those two things. I think the guitar is much more fuzzy and distorted, isn't it, on this than the first track? So you're introducing new elements into a sound and things, which is broadening out. I like the multi-track guitar parts. I think they've paid a lot of attention. Him and Michael Nilsson have paid a lot of attention to the guitar parts, you know, on this album. They're often on these tracks. There are, you know, many guitar tracks on there. There's, you know, way more than 2, 3, 4 tracks at least of which I think again it gives it a sort of thickness of sound, doesn't it? A denseness of sound. That you know, there's not. Everything's quite sort of confined in this space and has its own place in the mix, and that's really cool. I like the melodic middle 8 as well on this. That I think is, again, you know, always kind of having. I don't mean this. I don't mean this disparaging. You know, it has a kind of pop element that I think is a good, you know, really cool. Is that, you know, that that's what you're doing. Then, you know, make it so the choruses are strong and all the hook lines are strong. So that people, as you say, the second solo is a bit more restrained, isn't it, to start? And but again, that kind of, it just comes out of him. I think it's amazing that you could, that off he goes, flying off into the into the wide blue beyond with his solos and things. It's great. I get this 8 out of 10. Never a skip. Great second track, and great follow up to the first track as well, setting the scene. Andrew.
Hey Tim, good to see you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, look, I have to agree with you guys. Interesting set of vocals. I don't know what the effect is. Is it a delay? Is there a delay on the effect? Maybe I do, because we all know how Philip likes. He's analog, isn't he? He's an analog kind of guy. So maybe there might be some kind of delay going on there. I like that. I'm glad that Brad mentioned the solo, because it's not a gainy solo that he's playing on this, which is so unlike Phil in my mind. But there's a couple of other tracks to come where Phil surprises you again with his soloing. So nice surprise, bro, when I first heard this track, and in the context of doing some research for this show, again, I'm still blown away by the fact that he can surprise us in the context of playing songs. I too have given this 8 out of 10. Never a skip. Brad.
Awesome. Well, from Black Roller Coming, the next track is She's the Music, and man, I love this riff. It's I love the use of octaves, like doing, when you play octave sort of riffs. Very catchy melody and a hook to this song. It's got a great drum feel as well. Again, you've got your main guitar track, but there's some very clever guitar overdubbing. Philip's a bit of a master at this. He knows what to put where in the songs and not overdo it, so it doesn't clutter the sound. So you've got a lot of space there. And I love the overdub parts just as much as the main guitar tracks. And again, another great example of how great Philip can sing, and how great is that guitar tone on this song. It's just outstanding. You get lost in that tone of this on this record, but I love the tone of the guitar on this song. The outro of this song, gives me goosebumps. That guitar solo, the sound, it's like it's being played by someone else out of space. There's something quite unique about his playing, and you get lost in it. And the outro of this song gives me goosebumps. Look, another great song. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. Simon, never a skip for me.
Yeah, so interesting. It's start to widen out now. So that kind of fuzz guitar at the beginning has that kind of Stevie Wonder vibe, doesn't it? Dun, 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 like the clavinetti type of Steve, which I think is a very very cool vibe to have on a song. It has a kind of funky rhythm to it. That is it's one of those things. You hear it and you go, "What is that? What is that?" And then last night I was listening to it in the car on my way back from my brothers. You go, it's that kind of Stevie Wonder vibe, isn't it? Dun, 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 kind of thing. Oh, right, okay, yes, I've got a compass point at which to see where it is. But I think so. I think that's really good. That's really cool. I think also interesting hand claps on this. Definitely, hand claps. It's like the main sort of rhythmic thing, that kind of driving it along, which again is a different thing. So we're already in different production wise, this is a different kind of song, different kind of feel to it, different kind of sound to it. The vocals are not treated on this, so they're more natural vocals, and it's got that again, several guitar parts. There's lots going on, there's lots to dig into this, and it rewards multiple listenings, and I think that's a really cool thing. You hear things on the fourth listen you didn't hear on the first listen. So, and I think that, as you say, that solo at the end is kind of, there's nobody more emphatic in his entry of a solo than Philip Sayce is there. I mean, he comes in with a solo. It's not there's no doubt about what we're going to get here, is there? It's a racing certainty, and that kind of, as I said before, that kind of passion and that kind of just flying, as we do it is great. And then there's really busy drums at the end to sort of complement it off. So 9 out of 10 for me. Never a skip. Great track. Andrew.
Alan's given it 9 out of 10 as well. What's Hugh ranked it as? I can't see what Hugh's ranking is. Look, it's no surprise, is it, that Phil is going to use the fuzz effect to maximum effect. It's one of his favourite pedals. It's a pedal that I know that Brad holds very dear to his sound as well. It's the key. If you've got a Stratocaster or a Gibson, and what it can offer you as a guitar player. The Rock Professor's already mentioned the natural vocals. I love that. I love the fact, that we get Phil singing naturally with a little bit of reverb on his vocals, and that's really, really cool. And as my co-hosts have already alerted you to, folks, if you're watching on replay, that Stratocaster solo on this track, and, there's more to come. If you think this is good, there's more to come. Brad, I too have given this 9 out of 10. Never a skip, brother.
Yeah, great. So we get to the next track, which is Once. It's called Once, and wow, what a song! This the intro of this song infuses everything amazing about what guitar greats that are massive influences to Philip Sayce, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix mashed together with Philip Sayce's hands and his, what's inside of him coming out. It's a beautiful song, that delicate rhythm, the way Philip Sayce plays this delicate style of guitar, and what he does with his hands and soul, he's putting that into the music, and you can really capture the vibe and energy of this song. I know this is a very heartfelt song for Philip, very meaningful song, and he delivers on guitar and vocals so you can feel the sentiment behind the words and the emotion through the guitar. And how great, again, is the guitar tone. Like this is one of my favorite guitar tones on the record. First time I heard this song, it gave me goosebumps, and I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking about it. And then I obviously started to understand the sentiment of the song and what's behind it. And it's a deep song. There's a lot of meaning behind it. The outro section is epic. I'm hearing all the influences there, like Clapton. I'm hearing Jeff Healey. I'm hearing Hendrix. I'm hearing Stevie Ray Vaughan. But most importantly, you're feeling every note that Philip Sayce is playing. So, it's not that he's copying these people, but those influences are there, and he's infused them, and they're just coming through him. I'm sure, when he was recording this song, he wasn't trying to play perfectly. He's just playing with feel. And look, it's an amazing song. I love how Philip uses a wah pedal. I can't say enough great things about this song. And this is my first 100 out of 10. Never a skip. Never, ever a skip. Simon.
Good on you, bro.
We should say good morning to Tech Stevens, who's a new name in the chat. I don't recognize it. So welcome, Tech. And thanks for your comment. Fantastic to see you. I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, once again, again, we get that kind of contrast with the previous track. As you said, Fab, it starts off just Philip doing his best Hendrix vibe, doesn't he? Wind Cries Mary type clean sound, melodic. That's beautiful chords, and it sounds beautiful, and it is beautiful as a thing. And as I say, a bit more space in this, a bit less. It's not quite so dense, not quite so. Lots of things going on, but it's got the uni vibe on it. It's got it's great. It's got a great melody as well, and as you said at the end, that soaring, passionate solo at the end. By the way, packed into 2 minutes 23 is packing a lot into a small space. So it's a beautiful track, and as I said, a contrast to the previous track, and I think what's gone previously starting to branch out and get some different sounds and start investigating a bit more in the world of the sonic world. I gave this 9.5 out of 10. Never a skip. Beautiful track. Andrew.
Awesome. We're just sharing lineages in the chat, folks. We're all claiming our Irish and Scottish history and heritage, and I'm sticking my hand up on both. Scottish and Irish as well. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But my great-great-grandfather came from Buckhaven. Yeah.
Clearly, with a name like Williams, I could only be of Welsh descent.
Yeah. And Walton. And what's Walton? That's that's Scottish too. And on my nana's side, I'm Irish. So both sides don't want to pay.
That's fine. I've got Scottish ancestry on my mum's side, but my dad is very definitely. I have a very famous Welsh ancestor as well.
Yeah. And if you play Braveheart when I'm around, I'm vigilant. Right through that whole film. Anyway, back to work.
Paint your face blue.
Yeah.
Terrifying
Great film.
Thoughts. Anyway, sorry.
Brad, I've written Holy Moly on this track. Like you said, when I first heard this number, when it came out, I think I listened to it about 3 or 4 times in a row on repeat because I just thought it was fantastic. I just love this track. It's got everything that we love. It's got that Hendrix thing going through. It's loud, in my mind. It's delicate as well, that guitar tone, the vocals, the whole vibe's incredible. One of the reasons, folks, why you need a Stratocaster, why a Stratocaster is so important, because you can only get at least more than half this album. If you want to replicate some of those tones, you can only do that on a Strat. It's look, and look behind Brad, he's got 2. Look, Stratocasters.
We're all there with our Stratocasters, honestly.
And we know Hugh's a Strat man as well, and we know that Jim is. It's an important guitar. Brad, I can't repeat much more after what you and the Rock Professor have said. I just absolutely adore this track. I think it's fantastic. I wanted to give this a Brad score, but I won't, because there's more to come. So I'm just going to give this 10 out of 10. It's one of my favourite tracks.
That's a timeout.
You bastard. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I like Andrew's avatar there. All right, come back. All right, so we get to the next track on the album, Wild. And wow, what a contrast. A great effect on the guitar. A very dense, can I say, sludgy guitar sound. And great lyrics in this song. I mean, the line "break these chains." I love that lyric of the song, and the lyrical content of the song. It's fantastic. I love the drenched reverb effect on the vocal, and it's got that bullhorn effect as well. I don't know if that's what you call it, but it's like that sort of distorted vocal tone, very bluesy thing. It's a very bluesy thing, like someone singing through a harp microphone or something. That's what it sort of sounds like to me, and I love that. That's a great song, very catchy chorus. The guitars sound massive. Like I said, Philip's a master of guitar overdubs, so I love the main guitar tracks and the overdubs. They're just fantastic. The double time, the way the solo comes in, it's intense and heavy. I'm hearing Jeff Healey. I don't know whether it's intentional or it's just embedded in his DNA now through being part of Jeff Healey's band. It's just that I'm hearing Jeff Healey and he's playing on this song. it's just it's another great song, and a credit to Philip Sayce. Love the guitar playing as it fades out as well. 9 out of 10 for me, guys. Never a skip, Simon.
Yep.
Yes, it's got that opening thing. It's got that Robin Trower vibe to me. It's got that kind of univibe and fuzz kind of, and that very kind of, to me, sorry, to make loads of reference points, but that's where I get from. But yeah, to me, very Robin Trower kind of vibe to this. I get passionate singing, great passionate singing, kind of, as you said, Brad, that kind of digging into, some big stuff. Again, back to this big sound as well, back to big dense sound, overdub guitars, lots going on, but the use of drop down for dynamics and things, and less in the verses, more in the chorus, and those things to so sort of to give it an ebb and a flow. I think it's as you said, that second solo where he just it's that swooping phased effect that's amazing, and really blistering playing to that really fast runs, and he's kind of letting it go. And this is the first longer track, and this is 5 minutes, so he gets a chance to stretch out a bit, but still keeping it tight and keeping it within a song format as much as anything else. 9 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. Fantastic track indeed. Andrew.
Thanks, guys. One of the curses of going third, you have to put up with everyone else saying some of the gems that you think, oh shit, that's really good, and then Brad says it, and then the rock professor says it, and then to make it worse, Hugh goes and says it.
Bridget Size vibe. Thank you.
Yeah. Look, we're all on the same track, aren't we? And that's one of the great things about doing these albums. We can see those threads, Brad, on that tapestry of this music, and that's exactly what I heard. And again, we've done that album too, folks. If you want to go and check that album out, we'll put your finger up, Brad. yeah. We'll put a link. We'll put a link around somewhere around there at the 53-minute mark. We've ranked that album.
Your job is to put the link where his finger is, not the other way round.
Yeah. Look, it's a great track, isn't it? The Rock Professor and Brad have said it all. That fuzz, uni-vibe sound thing going on. And then at that 240 mark, Brad, you've got a solo that's unlike Phil in the context of what you think Phil might be playing. Again, it's the Rock Professor likes to talk about this, folks, contrasts, and we're getting that on this album with the songs. It's I hear it. I can certainly hear it. I think it's a great album for the contrasts, and it just adds that solo, and that difference just adds that extra dimension that we want from a guitar player. You can't classify Philip Sayce. I'm going to be controversial here, folks. Philip Sayce is 20 times the guitarist that Kenny Wayne Shepherd is, in my opinion, because Philip does have that contrast in styles, as opposed to Philip, which is just stuck in this in this genre. And I don't mean that negatively. Did that come across negative?
No, I think you meant Kenny, not Philip. That last comment.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm getting excited. I'm blind. I'm half blind too, bro. Yeah. Philip is 10 times the guitar player in my mind than Kenny Wayne Shepherd, because Philip has that dynamic aspect and that contrast ability in his styles. And again, it's going to show through when Brad talks about it. Man, I've given this 8.5 out of 10. It's a great track, but I do think the Bridge to Size thing is a real thing. It's a real thing that Philip has done. on this album.
Yeah, well, it's probably embedded in his DNA, Andrew. You know, that Bridges.
Hugh agrees, so I'm right. If Hugh agrees,
if Hugh agrees, we're all safe. So
that's where we're going. Stop messing about.
we're all the same. You know, to this point now, we're all pretty much on par with each other, which is great. So the next song is "Give Me Time," and it's a great cover song, a great cover version of the original song. There's cleaner guitars in this, and it sounds fantastic. His vocal on this song is the strong point of the song. It's epic. Little guitar overdub sections during the verses and choruses of the, very Robert Cray and Eric Clapton to me. Great drumming and bass playing. It's a catchy song. Obviously, that's why Philip's done it, and he's performed it extremely well. I love the use of the tambourine and the piano. I gave this 8.5 out of 10 and never a skip, guys. Simon.
Ooh, controversial.
Cheers.
Nice to see you.
Am I timed out?
Nearly.
You might be. You might be, bro.
You might be.
Let me just say before Simon takes over the Rock Professor, I have to rank them in accordance with how I've ranked other songs. It's not. Yeah. It's just.
Yes. Brad.
As we
keep
always
digging.
Say, we are fans of the music and we're not experts. I know it's a song that he released as a cover, but as a single. But for me, I'm into some of the other tracks, the deeper tracks on the record, and I've ranked them higher. So I can't rank this as high as the ones that I'm connecting to more. I'm glad I got that out. Simon.
Right, we've just been told off. All right.
Right. Okay. You're still wrong. Anyway,
still wrong.
Give me time. Yeah.
Carry on.
All right.
Oh dear. So give me time. I think this is a great track. I think it has a real kind of stack soul feel to it. That kind of the beginning, it's got that funky clean guitar. It really swings. I think it's got a great, give me time and I'll make you mine. I think is a great catch line to the end of every verse. The hand claps and the tambourine, very Motown, 60s Motown vibe with that sort of thing. And also it's got a piano on it as well. But the entry of the piano keyboards as a bit of extra color, but it's something we've not had before. It's so I really like this. I love the swing of it. I think that it's it's got piano and organ on it, so it gives it a bit more different feel, different vibe. I gave this 10 out of 10. Never skips. One of my favorite tracks on the album, I think, because of that swing and that kind of stacks soul feel to it. Really great. Andrew.
Yeah, I'm gonna cruise into the Rock Professor's lane here and say, "Give Me Time," one of Phil's best vocals ever, and the playing on this track confirms in my mind that Phil is one of the modern masters of this music. I have to back up again with what the professor said with the colour, with the keyboards. We love that, how it comes through. That stacks feel, which is always going to be good. It's always going to be something that's going to tap me on the shoulder and go, "Come here, buddy boy." I've given this a 10 out of 10 too, so never a skip.
I think I definitely need to time out.
Oh, dear. 8.5 out of 10. Honestly.
Well, at least he didn't give it 6 like you did last week. You gave a couple of
that's
6
true.
Yeah.
I was hoping you wouldn't remember that. Yes, I did it last week. I think I got away with it.
I don't think.
Come back, Brad. You got to introduce the next song.
I don't think I deserve to come back now. I'm not going to find out forever.
Honestly.
Oh my goodness. Where are we up to now? I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my.
What we might do is, I know there's a bunch of photos that we should show as
Yeah.
well to people in the. So we'll rank this
Yeah.
song, guys, and maybe show some photos if that's all right.
Yep. Cool.
I
Yeah.
sent through a
Yeah.
bunch, Andrew. You don't have to show them all, but just show like the ones you like the most. I guess. Oh my! I mean, that's the first time I heard this song. That's what I said. Oh my! Fantastic song. It's got a great feel. I love that resonator style guitar that's being played there. The great feel from Philip on the guitar. Great lyrics and vocals of outstanding. Great background vocals as well. The organ, we hear organ in there, colors the song. There's some real delicate guitar parts, some sort of doubled parts here. I'm hearing like a resonator, and I'm also hearing like a Strat, maybe Philip, if you ever can clear this up for me, whether you've put a resonator mic on it and it's through a guitar amp as well, so you're getting two, but it sounds doubled to me, the solo especially. There's like, I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds fantastic. I love that. Again, the way that Philip does these overdubbing parts to complement the main guitar tracks is outstanding. The solo section, I'm getting a very gospel vocal approach through the choruses on this song. And I love gospel music, and I love that style of vocal. It's 9.5 out of 10 and never a skip, guys. Simon.
Yeah, this is a bit more. John said D31 accusing us of bullying you. The fact we somehow had rubbish opinions. I have no idea where he got that idea. John, there are a few facts, Sometimes it's in all the books. That I've read anyway. Oh dear. So anyway, oh my, is it a mid-tempo blues in 6/8, proper, waltz time. Fantastic. Clean guitar, plays that nice riff at the beginning. We've got piano underneath playing, sort of doing the sort of rhythm parts, playing the chords, and later on an organ as well. So they've continued the organ and the piano through into this track. So it's a sort of continuity thing, I think, is really cool. I think somebody in the chat asked earlier, I think it might have been Greg, asked, is he a great guitarist, a great vocalist, a great, I feel like he's a great everything. I mean, I agree with you. The singing is great on this, isn't it? And the backing vocals as well, the harmony backing vocals in the chorus is really good. It's got a very melodic chorus. And I think, that's more of a feature on this, the harmony singing, that I think is really interesting. And that solo with the twin guitars, definitely, I hear twin guitars in that solo as well, Brad. Yeah, that's really cool. Again, a different feel, a different vibe to it. I gave this 9.5 out of 10, never a skip. I think it's a great track. And, all in 3 minutes as well. So I think that's fantastic too.
Outstanding.
Andrew.
Yeah, look, I've got to agree with you guys. I think there's a bit of a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing coming through there. The shuffle time feel is in what the Rock Professor has just elaborated for you guys, and the timing and the time signature of the song. Again, Phil, I think, is just playing around with the standard kind of shuffle. And I like that, Brad. I don't know if he's doing this intentionally or it's a play on something that's established, but I kind of think he is. I don't know. Yeah, let's get him on and ask him, what is it his interpretation of that shuffle. I don't know, but that 2:18 mark, that solo is fantastic. It's great. Go and check it out. Just about all the solos on this album are worth checking out. But that solo at 2:18, folks, go and check it out. I've given this a 9 out of 10 as well. I won't repeat everything that my co-hosts have said, folks, but yeah, love the vibe, love the channeling, the manifestations that this guy Philip can do. He can manifest these legends and bring it through. And again, I'm repeating myself, but it's going to become clearer and clearer on some of these other tracks. He's nailing it his way, Brad.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll throw some picks up, brother.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to throw picks up and show the vibe of what's going on with this record.
I didn't load them all because some of them were too big for the file. So just hold on. Where are we? So, ladies and gentlemen, the picks to you this week are brought to you by
Oh, dear.
And I got to remind you folks, on replay and here live, clickbait is our own clickbait. That's our own. That's our brand.
Oh my.
And that's our rock professor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah. All right, so this is the album cover, and from this album cover, I think it speaks, so loudly and brightly what the whole album is. It's about spirit rising. It's a great album cover. I think it's fantastic, and I'd love to, at some point when this eventually gets out on vinyl, I think it's something that I'm going to buy just because the album's great, but the cover's fantastic. So
I love the cover.
Have to have this on vinyl, I think, when it comes out. So, look, I thought it'd just be great to show the evolution of some of his guitars. So that's the guitar he's nicknamed Mother. So you can see it in 1998 and where we're at 2021, and you can see that it's obviously a very well loved and used, well, maybe not loved so much, but abused and played. And that's it there on the single cover for Spirit. It's fantastic. It sets a vibe. It just goes to show how much he puts into his playing, that his guitar is wearing the brunt of it. Let's just put it that way. Obviously,
that's called doing a Rory Gallagher, isn't it? Having no paint left on it and only wood.
Yes, right. Yeah. So I believe it's a 63 or something Strat. I'm sure Philip can probably clarify what that was.
And folks, this here on my Stratocaster wasn't through hard working. This is done with the sander. With a sander, an orbital sander.
Cheating. Yeah. Is that saying I can't be asked to put in the work, so I'll just sand it off?
You got it.
I'm not going to put the time. I'm not going to put the time in. I'm just going to wear it out.
Yeah, you got it, brother. I'm always looking for the shortcuts.
So we're fully aware of the pandemic and what it caused. I mean, this album came out in 2020. So Philip's now on tour for this record, which came out in 2020. So he's finally over in the UK at the moment, as he's touring Europe at the moment anyway. So these are some of the shots from just some blues festivals and that from the last week. So that guitar there is nicknamed Big Daddy.
Hold on.
So it's a fantastic guitar, that one. But I just thought it would be important to show these photos. I thought they were, it sets a mood. You can see from the photos, he puts everything into what he's doing. He's got his eyes shut just in about almost every photo, which is the mark of it's the staple of a remarkable guitarist, in my opinion. You're not focused on technically playing perfectly. You're focused on putting everything that's inside of you out. And I think that, but obviously I'm really, really happy for Philip that he's out playing this album and supporting it. And as you can see in the previous photo, the amount of people that are coming to see him. So Well deserved, Philip. Well deserved, and I'm sure I'm expressing that sentiment from Andrew and Simon as well. Well done. You deserve it. But yeah, that's a cool promo shot from the Spirit Rising album as well. I think saw an interview or something he did. That's that resonator.
With his resonator, yeah.
Read that comment.
So if anyone's familiar with, you can look it up on YouTube. Melissa Etheridge did I think it was at an award show. I'm not sure which one it was, on Grammys or something like that. And Melissa Etheridge did the songs for Bon Jovi, and Philip Sayce is playing guitar in it. And John Bon Jovi was like, I'm not going to speak that over over the channel, but I'm sure you can read it. Who the is
Beep.
Guitar player.
Yeah. So that's another.
Hold on, folks, and there's one more, bro. One more.
Just
that's up the top there.
Oh yeah.
Mule resonator guitars. I think they're Canadian. I think.
Yeah.
Certainly, Ariel Posen's plays a Mule resonator. That blue guitar he's got is a kind of metal. That Strat sort of thing he tunes down. That's a resonate Mule. That's made by Mule. Great guitar.
So look at the pickups. See how the
angle.
Notice the angle on the pickups.
Yes, that's right. Pushing that treble.
Yeah. I've never done that. And when you flick through these pickups, bro, I thought, shit, I'm going to... You know, remember when we did that Clapton review and we realised that the Clapton pickups on his Strat were like stuck out about like 20 millimeters?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never ever set my pickups like that. Simon, Brad, have you guys ever done that?
Yes.
Well, this black one's got definitely the treble is higher than the bass on this one.
Yeah.
Definitely higher, and actually on all three pickups, the treble side is higher than the bass side on this.
Yeah,
okay.
I've done that. I've done that with
on this
Strats.
But yeah, so this one seems to have. That's, by the way, that isn't me doing that.
Yeah, I've done that with all my Strats.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll check that out. I'll get back to you. I'll report to you guys next week.
Yeah.
Brad, thank you, brother, for flicking through those pics.
Yeah,
cool pics.
I want to show these too because I got these.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. You might get a look at Brad's bum.
Oh, yeah. Seriously.
So yeah, that's a promo from his previous album to this one.
Wow.
And,
Nice.
I bought his CDs, and these were part and parcel of the package from his website. So I framed them because I'm a fan. I'm a what do you call it? A super fan. That's what they call it these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I got that one.
Stalker.
Yes, well, I bought his pickups, and so maybe you could call me that. And this one here is a surprise position. Obviously, Scorched Earth is a live record that he released, but if you can see, it's been signed. Not that he signed it for me, but it's been hand signed by Philip. So
Beautiful.
It's a cool bit of memorabilia, and I love that album cover. It's fantastic.
That's cool, bro. It's a cool album.
Yeah. So there you go.
Thank you, bro. We love Philip Sayce. He's a modern master, folks, and more on that on our conclusion, I suppose, if you haven't already gathered that.
Yeah. Like I said in my introduction, I think, one of the best guitarists of our generation, really. Most exciting and standout guitarists and singers, blues rock, psychedelic rock, just outstanding. So the next song is another absolute cracking song. It's Burning Out, I think we're up to. Yeah, Burning Out.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite tracks on the album, to be honest with you guys. I think everyone can relate quite closely to the lyrical content of this song in some way, shape, or form. I know I can. The first time I heard this album, I felt like Philip wrote this song for me. Everyone can relate to being burnt out. And if you listen to the lyrics, they're fantastic. Great guitar tone here. I love the intro to this song, and I love the rest of the song equally, but I love the way he plays that. And I am going to say, like the start of my song Shake It, I stole the idea of putting a lead little guitar part like this. It was I went back and actually put a little lead guitar part leading into the first verse like this. And not that I stole it from you, Philip, but the idea influenced me a lot. And, it's a great guitar tone and such a great guitarist. An amazing intro. The vocals are fantastic here. A very catchy sort of verses, and the chorus line is, it's got you sucked in. You can't help but sing along with it, especially if you feel like you've been in a situation where you're burning out because you're doing too much and you're not getting anywhere. It's lyrical content, and it's great when you hear songs that you can align yourself with and you can sing along to them in the car and get all that out. It's for me, it's like when you record a song and it's about something deep or whatever meaningful, you can listen in retrospect, and it's a bit cathartic to listen back to putting that out there. It can actually heal you, like bookend that moment for you. And hearing a song that someone else has done that you relate to is the same for me. Great guitar solo. Sounds like Clapton on steroids to me in this song, solo-wise. And the way Philip uses his wah pedal to help control feedback on the outro solo gives me goosebumps. It's a 10 out of 10. Never a skip for me, guys. Simon.
Yeah, it has that kind of classic Hendrix blues intro, doesn't it? Sort of that's that for me. I think right, okay, which is clearly one of his influences and stuff. I think it's got a great melodic chorus, and I think, and we keep saying it, but I think it's really important to say, that clearly he's, a lot of these songs are 3 minutes long, 3 and a bit minutes long. So he's clearly one of the things of this record is to make tight, focused songs with bits in that to, use a riff and what's that?
555. Did you see that?
Oh, 555.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, 555. So, yeah, we're not quite there in time, are we?
What was that, Andrew?
What's that screensaver, bro?
I don't think you should be asking that.
I'm not interested in the digits. What's the screen? Oh! Thank you. Sorry, Simon.
You got distracted, didn't you?
Sorry, Simon.
Yes. No, yes, you will be. So yes, going back to the melodic chorus, which is always cool. Organ as well on this one. It's all right. It's fine. I'll battle my way through. So organ in the background on this. Again, kind of that gone back to that big dense sound. Lots of guitar parts. Lots of stuff going on. Bears repeated listening. Fantastic solo at 1:15. Fast soaring playing. Blistering pace, and I'll say it again, nobody comes in like Philip Sayce, do they? Be in no doubt when I'm doing a solo, it's bam and in, which I think is fantastic. It's not we're not just sneakily coming in, are we? We are coming in. And I think that fits in with the songs. It fits in with the length of the songs and that punchy, focused feel that and the solo at the end, really going for it, absolutely flying. 10 out of 10 for me, never a skip. Great song, great track. Andrew.
Sorry about that, Simon. Sorry, I just
before you start, apologies, Simon. I just thought it was a coincidence that 555 popped up.
No, I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it took me 30 seconds to realise, of course, the final track is 555.
That's right.
Yeah. We're not quite there in time. Damn!
And I had to make the comment, I didn't give a shit about 555. What's the screensaver? Sorry.
So my apologies, Simon, and we listened and absorbed everything you said.
Yeah, we did. We listened and absorbed everything that you said, that I even stole one of your ideas. You've mentioned on this track chorus melody. So did I. Oh, so I did listen to you. Awesome chorus melody on this track. I love that. Love the Jimi Hendrix intro as well. Kind of vibe going there. Brad, what's really kicking for me on this track, especially, is the drums and the bass. The way that they're interacting on this track. I love it. I've given this a 9.5 out of 10. We're cooking now, guys. We're getting there.
Yeah. Again, Simon, my apologies. I just thought coincidence.
No,
555 pops up.
No, it's good. Yeah, had to show it. Absolutely, yes. Can we say quickly, good morning to Quentin James? Morning, Quentin. And Arvin. Good morning, Arvin. Nice to see you, man. I hope you're well. Cool.
Morning. So the next track is 1 Foot on the Gravel, which is a Jeff Healey song. So
yes,
which ties in a little bit to my notes as well.
Yes.
What a riff. This song is blues on steroids. It's fantastic. Beautiful guitar and playing. If this song doesn't make you want to break out your Fender Stratocaster and flick it to the neck pickup, I don't know what will. Andrew's great mind single like, Andrew. Great mind single like. I love the lyrics of this song. I love this song. Great vocal. Philip sings this fantastically. The solo is screaming. Intentional or not, I'm hearing Jeff Healey influence, especially in the second part of the solo. I love it. Again, Philip's the master of a wah pedal. I love his use, and I think he's using an Octavia as well during some of the soloing and stuff.
Okay.
Fantastic version of this song, Philip. And for me, 10 out of 10, never a skip, Simon.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think it's one of the standout tracks, isn't it? That 1 foot on the gravel, 1 foot in the grave is a great tagline, isn't it? For a sort of that blues song, clearly, as you said, a kind of heavy thing. I detected a bit of Robin Trower as well in the riff as well. To kind of probably Jeff Healey got the felt all feeds in, doesn't it, into that. The solo is a kind of, again, another kind of soaring, blistering, wig out. I've written as really, really, as I say, he really goes for it, and I think it's incredibly admirable that. But the person who he reminds me of, not in that attitude, is Josh Smith. Josh Smith does that as well. He comes in. I was watching something else he was doing, and that Paul David's video where they got 10 guitarists to solo over the same things. And if you watch Josh Smith, he comes in, he's like nails it. I think there's sort of in that kind of way, that kind of emphatic way of coming in. Great dramatic ending, I think, a la sort of a live dramatic ending. Great track. I gave this 10 out of 10 as well. I think this is one of the outstanding tracks on this album. Really good. 10 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. Andrew.
Hugh's agreeing with you guys as well, and so has Helen. Look, I'm glad you made the Jeff Healey connection there too. I'm familiar with the song as well. Great lyrics, if you've been in go and check the lyrics out. I'm not going to tell you what the lyrics are about, but if you've been brought up, maybe in a sheltered environment, it's kind of a song that talks about breaking free from that kind of sheltered aspect. Love that, because rock and roll's about freedom. Should be anyway. Before the money men took it over. Brett.
What, in 1902? Yes.
Oh, well, we still got a brain to think that it should be free. They can't take away that from us, eh? Remember, I told you I saw Braveheart 20,000 times.
Now I paint my face blue and go around the suburbs of Hamilton, New Zealand.
Yeah. You can't take our music away from us. Look, I've got to echo what Brad said. Tasty Stratocaster tone on this track. And again, it's one of the reasons why We've all got Strats, and if you don't have a Strat, you need to go and get one. Any Strat is going to sound like a Strat, folks. Trust me, we've all been there. A $600 Strat's going to sound like a good Strat, so you don't need to go and spend thousands. If there's one thing that we want to make sure that we get people to at least appreciate from our perspective, obviously it's the music that we love talking about, but also getting some gear and just playing and having a go. Greg's doing it, so we love that. I'm not going to repeat what my co-hosts have said. It's got that fiery solo, and I love the chord. I love those chord tones that he gets, Brad. You know, Hendrix does that too, you know, how we can play a chord and just get all those chords ringing out. I love that. I've given this 10 out of 10 as well. We're cooking, brother.
Look, the tail end of this record is equally as good as the front end. It's just, you know what I mean? It's
the question
fantastic.
is, Brad. The question is this going to prove my theory that the second last track is always the worst one on the album? Don't preempt
Hold
it.
on.
Before you say that, it's in my notes. I'm not going to say anything until I get to that song.
He just, you know, isn't he? You know, he just wants to know before we get there, doesn't he?
No, zip it. You'll hear.
It's not your
Nobody likes a
birthday
smart
today,
ass.
mate.
Hey, Rock Professor,
Shut up.
you're mentioned in my notes for the second last song. All right, so sit tight. We're almost
Okay, all right, good. All right.
It's time
We might be able to get something done.
Time myself out. Yes, quite right. Nobody likes a smart ass.
No, I'm going to put you back in your place on the second last song, Simon. All right, so just sit tight. So the next song is "Awful Dreams." It's a cover as well, and it's got the way it's recorded. This is really dense. It's got a real deep Delta vibe going on. Love the resonator style guitar. Great vocal tracking. The way that the vocals are done. This is a deep, dark, overtone sort of cut at the way these recorded this. This song is infectious. I was driving back from my gig last night down in the Gippsland region of Victoria, and I was listening to this album again, and I got lost listening to this song. I sort of don't know where I went for when I was driving along, and this song goes for about 6 minutes, I believe.
Yep.
And for 6 minutes, I don't know what I was doing while I was driving because I was lost into this song. It's infectious. Yeah, I love the foot stomp feel with the kick drum. You know, paying close attention to the song, you'll hear some amazing guitar playing go on. It really cuts right through you. I can't explain, you know, the feel of this song properly. It's like waking up with a really bad hangover. That's got that vibe to it. I don't know. That's how I sort of hear this song, and I hear songs in colors. So I'm picturing like that hangover vibe where you're not quite coherent. It's drenched in guitar, and the solo is fantastic. The guitar playing throughout the whole song is fantastic. I gave it 9 out of 10, and never a skip, gentlemen. Simon.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing, the song, isn't it? Because it's a complete contrast to what's come before, and I think that it's that it's a really important thing to say that you know that where you play songs and what you do, and you know, and we've had the fast bluesy stuff, we've had the the rock stuff, and then we get to this, as you've said, this kind of slow acoustic song with these kind of almost detuned baritone sort of level. I don't know whether it's quite what it is, but we can ask him. But amazing, kind of really spooky, kind of atmospheric vibe to it. Start with that bass drum and the stamping foot, kind of John Lee Hooker stamping foot, keeping the time. The intro is like nearly a minute long before there's any singing, so kind of really gives a chance to build up the atmosphere and build up that kind of spooky vibe that, as you say, the deep Delta vibe. What?
Nothing.
Again, spooky, dramatic vocals as well. Double track, second vocal is an octave higher as well. So those two vocals as well, which is really cool. And I think it struck me as a bit like a sort of ghostly Red House, Hendrix on his 12-string playing Red House kind of thing, has that sort of vibe. I know I keep harking back to the Hendrix thing, but it's, I think clearly one of his influences. That's not a bad thing. That's a fantastic thing in my books. You make it your own, but we all like our sort of points that we can latch onto, don't we? Reference points we can latch onto.
Yeah.
Beautiful atmospheric electric playing the solo as well. Really in keeping with the song, with that crackly, distorted sound that really fits in. Has a kind of filmic quality to it, and then at the end that slow stop to just kind of swirling electronic noise that contributes. 10 out of 10 from me. Never a skip. I think it's a fantastic track, and a brilliant place to put this song as a real contrast to what's come before. Really outstanding.
That's a good point. Great point.
And I think that's you get a point for where you put it, if you see what I mean. Andrew.
Yeah, I think this song is, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, remarkable. And I want to see Phil do more of this kind of genre later on. I think he's going to be very, very good at it. This hill country blues, he's inspired. This is why Phil, as a Welshman, born Welshman, spending time in Canada, can clearly articulate and reverberate with R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough, these hill country blues guys, into this interpretation of this song. It's, as the rock professor said, it's spooky. It's a spooky thing that he's done so well. And the authenticity, Brad, from this track, you talk about, hairs on the back of your neck standing up or maybe crying when you hear something. When I first heard this track during lockdown, I thought that this was the track that was speaking to me, brother. This was the track that I could hear that resonated back to R.L. Burnside and Junior Kimbrough, these hill country blues giants. Go and check them out, folks. And I've got a sneaky suspicion, again, this could be some controversy here, because I love the Black Keys. I love them, and I can't wait for us to do some Black Key albums on this show, because these guys appreciate that blues British connection. But I think, Brad, Phil could probably do a better interpretation of some of these songs than those guys could.
Oh, yeah.
He's a genius. Phil is a genius. This is a Brad score.
Oh, there you go. Wonderful.
Love it.
That's
John thinks he's Italian.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, dear.
All right. Well, from awful dreams with that overtone, we come to Spirit, and it's got a real happy, bluesy, funky feel. It's a great song. It's extremely catchy. Certainly knocks the rock professor's theory out of the water. The second last song used, but
sure does.
This is a masterpiece. That's what I put in my notes here for you, Simon. Had to put it in there. Great lyrical content. It's an uplifting song. Great vocal delivery. One of the best on the album, in my opinion.
Yep.
Love the tone of the song, about rising above and not being, broken and beaten down. We can all use this. It's like a little anthem to help us get back on our feet when we've been feeling like we have been beaten down. Great guitar solo. I love the way Philip employs a wah pedal and utilizes it. It's like part of, his bending, the way he bends the strings and his vibrato. He's utilizing the wah pedal and to stretch out those overtones and feedback as well. I love the hand claps, the toms, the with the hand claps and the kick drum. It sounds massive. The unison bends at the end of the song, you know, and then it goes back to the tom feel with the, you know, whoa. I'm not going to sing it, but you know the parts I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like I said, this knocks your theory out the window, Simon. 10 out of 10, never a skip for me, Simon.
In your world, it does.
Oh!
You see, you see. Well, my question to you is that is this the second last track, or is it actually the last track?
Oh, here we go.
And then the 555 is merely a coda, to which we see not. and I've already given the second last track 10 out of 10. So yes, you are of course completely right. This is John D35 said this has been blown out of the water several times. Yes, but I'm clinging on to it like a desperate drowning man in a shipwreck. I always think it's good to ask the question.
Just wait, folks, to when we do an album when clearly the second to last song is shit.
Terrible.
And we'll do when that actually happens. When that actually happens, Brad, we'll look. When that happens, we'll get some of this going.
Yeah. Yes. I think we might be waiting some time, to be honest. But, Spirit, to me, it's got to start off with that kind of come together vibe, that same kind of rhythm. Ding, 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 ding. I could, find myself singing along typical other songs to, as you've said, that jaunty kind of strat riff, big sound again. It's a big kind of rock sound this time. Getting back to the rock bit for a big finish. I think it's a big chorus, and big chords in the chorus, as that contrast to a much sparser kind of verse singing with much less going on. Another emphatic soaring solo with lots going on, and lots to keep you interested. And then drop down as well for a dynamic contrast. And I think it's, with a bit of piano as well, just to round it off. I gave this 9 out of 10 and never a skip. It's a great track. Clearly not a terrible second last track at all. Really great track. 9 out of 10 for me, never a skip. Andrew.
Yeah. I just need to make a correction there. So John wasn't talking about Phil being Italian. He was talking about some opera singer called Bocelli. Yeah. So clearly he was Italian. Phil wasn't. Arvin's right. Go and check out an awesome channel. If I get a chance, if I remember, Junior Kimbra's grandson Cam he has an awesome channel where he plays a lot of his grandfather's guitars and amps in that style, that hill country style that we love. Worth checking out. Brad, Simon, clearly Jimi Hendrix vibe going on here. I love Phil's vocals on this track. It's fantastic, and I love the nice tom and snare snap that you get on this track. Got to echo what the rock professor said too. There's an epic chorus going on there. And one of the great things that we love, and Hugh mentioned it in one of his comments, modern blues, it's easy to fall into that category of a blues song. One of the great things about a song, if it's got that wonderful melody chorus, that's where it takes its song to another level, and we like that. And that's not a criticism. If it gets onto radio or if people are humming it as the musical track on an album, it's really important. I'm going to echo exactly everything that Brad said. The theory is gone. The theory is gone. I too made a note there on that. So
ganging up on the rock professor. Not allowed. Not allowed.
We're bullying you.
Cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remind me to talk to you about cyberbullying after the show too, guys. I've got a little story to tell you guys and share with everybody too. It's not just a ears only comment. Brad, great album. I love this album, but gee, the last part of this album is just, man, it's solid. I've given this 10 out of 10, bro. I just think it's a fantastic track.
Yeah, I agree. Look, second last song, we've given you a lot of stick, Simon. So we'll get on to the last.
Too.
We'll get on to the last song just to sort of get away from that stigma of the second last thing that you're carrying on your shoulders.
Well, the trouble is, hoisted by my own petard, isn't it? I said it, and kind of like, and then you just spend the whole time disproving me, which is see, the rock professor, sometimes right, sometimes wrong, always certain.
The issue was we ranked about 10 albums in a row where the second to last song was shit. Yeah, and we were starting to believe it, weren't we? The rock professor had played with our minds.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, the rock professor's not just giving you a load of old tosh. He's come up with something useful. I think modern albums, that's not the case anymore. I think someone like Philip Sayce, that's never going to be allowed to happen, is it? Not at all. He's got enough songs, enough to realise that's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, this guy, Hugh. Oh,
I know.
Oh yeah. Well, look, we better get on to the last song because already people are starting to rank, and we want to get in before everyone else. So 555. Obviously, like I showed the 555 on my phone when it popped up. Just spiritual thing. This is a song of prayer. It's an instrumental. It's very hard to put into words how beautiful this song actually is. I'm hearing very heavy Stevie Ray Vaughan influence. That whole thing of Hendrix as well, like the little wing, the wind cries Mary, that sort of vibe there. The guitar tone is beautiful. It's amazing. The playing is something else. It's unearthly. It's from outer space. Philip, you're an alien. I don't know how you do it. The song is dedicated to Philip, his father. I'm hearing a modern day epic here put up with the likes of Lenny by Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's a beautiful song. It only goes for a minute 20, but it's a minute 20 prayer to his departed father, and it's a lovely piece of music. It's only deserving of 100 out of 10 for me, and what a way to bookend, as you said, Andrew. Warning shot. It's like this is a taste of what's to come.
Yep.
The record has been a journey, and a somewhat spiritual journey as well, and that's why it's called Spirit Rising. And 555 gets 100 out of 10. Philip, well done. Beautiful, beautiful piece of music, Simon.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it starts off with kind of the chaos and the sort of noise of the intro, that little intro, the squall, sort of, and then it ends with that kind of much calmer, kind of melodic, kind of a coda to this, which is clearly what it is. Yes, Hendrix. I got John Mayer as well. Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. I don't know whether he did delivery, but there's some little phrases in it that to me were quoting a bit of Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. Lovely. That's a compliment, by the way. I like quotes, and I like little bits of things that you might shovel in that remind me of something else. That's really cool. I think it's a beautiful coda piece. I think it's in exactly the right place for where it is. I think it's where it fits, and it has that kind of as I say, that kind of clean melodic intensity that, you know, just brings the album down to a close properly. 10 out of 10 from me, never a skip. It's a lovely melodic piece. Andrew.
Yeah, look, I have to agree with what everybody is saying. You know, it's Phil made made a wonderful piece of music. Hugh made a comment there, you know, that it's his little wing. You know, is Stevie Ray Vaughan's. You know, it's his 316. You know, Eddie Van Halen did a wonderful little, you know, beautiful musical instrumental piece there when Wolfgang was born. Brad's told you the story behind the song, and you know, when we found that out through social media, it was like, oh wow, you know, it's okay, you know. But when I first heard this, bro, I just thought, I can't believe that somebody in 2020 is playing this kind of music, you know. I'm not a technical kind of guy, but there's the thing that Philip's doing really, really well here is that he's playing notes, whereas a normal blues guitarist might bend them on this song. You could and if you're a blues guy, that's quite acceptable for you to bend those notes, but he's not. He's playing like the rock professor said, a little bit like John Mayer, like some of these modern guys, and this is why they are standouts, these modern guys, because they're actually playing the notes in between the chords, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, they're like chord inversions and the inversions of the chord and between the notes, the moving chord thing. Yeah.
So that and that's exactly that's why these modern guys will always be attuned to our ear and a difference to, for example, no disrespect to a Stevie or a Jimmy, you know, or a Andrew, you know, who might just bend the note up, or a Clapton even, you know. So I got to agree with you, bro. It's just a wonderful piece of music. When I first heard it, I couldn't believe it. Like I said, you know, it's just, and I still can't believe that this guy wrote this. It's a bookend of a wonderful album, and as you said in your intro, bro, it's a shame that we had that global thing to get in the way of this album. But he's making it up. He's making up for it now, and he certainly took advantage of social media. And just about every second day, he was on social media, wasn't he? Just sharing his experiences. I'll never forget one day he was sitting out in the sun, and he had these like obnoxious sunglasses on, and he was drinking a cocktail, and he had this flowery kind of suit on, and his hair, and it was like, I don't care. It's a modern masterpiece, bro. And you know, again, I have to thank Philip, because it was his music that connected Brad, who is such an important part of this show, but everybody else's lives here in the chat as well. If it wasn't for Phil and this album, we none of us would be connecting. So thanks, Phil, for that.
I agree, Andrew, and you know, it was a big part of that whole global thing that happened. And a big part of pushing me to become a solo artist. So
cool.
It's
brilliant.
Very important now.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I think that it's as you said, and it kind of I know it was done before, but it's a portent of the global mess and all of that in many ways, isn't it? You know, you could see it as a kind of an omen to what's about to hit us back in 2020.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great record. I think it's focused, it's really well produced, really well organized, and you know, they've clearly thought about it, you know, put the songs together in a fantastic order. You know, they've started off with something, then let it spread out, introduce other instruments for dynamics, and you know, whilst, as I say, sticking to, we're going to make some tight, you know, focused songs with verses and choruses, and tight blistering solos, and I think it's a real statement of intent. I think for Mr. Sayce going forward, but what he might do and how it works. I think it works really well as an album. It's a great record. Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is, it's consistently, it's consistency, that. And I know it's a while. This album was a while after the previous one, wasn't it? So,
2016,
I would say, is it 4 years or so? So hopefully, one would say, I've stockpiled a lot of songs. I've been through them, put together, 12, 13, corkers, and put them together, produced them, organized them, stuff into a really great record. Yeah.
So we one of the big things, Simon, that you've instilled in Andrew and myself is the song flow in an album, and this album's done perfectly, in my opinion. I wouldn't shift any of the songs around anywhere else. It's a great song order the way that it's done. So, I just thought about it too, Andrew. I have to sort of highlight that it did bring us together, this record. Really, I think the connection between myself, you, Andrew, and Simon, this album kind of pushed us to do this channel like the way we're doing it. And you guys are already doing it, but I became part of the channel because of my solo thing, which is part of this as well. But Andrew, we did connect. I remember now before I released my thing, like I was just releasing it at the time when this album was relevant. So, and still is relevant because he's out now touring for it. So anyway, it's a wonderful album. And if you haven't heard it, I hope we encourage you to go and check it out. Go and check him out, his music on Spotify or whatever streaming platform that you use. And, support him when he comes to your town and go see him live, because from what I've seen on YouTube, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. So you need to go and see him live.
No, I agree with you. And, the performances that he puts on live, you're right. He just closes his eyes and he locks into it. And if you're watching, if you got this far, ladies and gentlemen, at the 1 minute 52 mark, and if you're from the Philip Sayce Facebook group that has been really, really supportive of the posts that we've been putting on there, we really, really appreciate it, because some Facebook groups are really, really friendly and welcoming and want to participate in sharing the music and getting the word out there. And the Philip Sayce Facebook group, Brad and Simon, are behind it 100%. And, the messages that we get on the posts that we put there from those people are fantastic. And if you're watching from that group, please leave a comment for us so that we know that, you've been here and you've watched it. And there's more to come on Philip. I guarantee you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, well, guys, that's it. And thank you guys for allowing me to lead through this album.
No problem. And I'm go and get a Stratocaster. Grab your Strat, Brad. Grab your Strat, Rock Professor, because this could be a thumbnail for. Grab your Strat.
Grab my Strat.
This could be a thumbnail for another video or for another post. Please. Okay, at 154.
It's not really a Philip Sayce guitar, but anyway.
There's your Strats. This is a clarion for a Stratocaster, this album. Go and get a Strat. There's a couple of modern songs, Brad. When I was listening to this, I thought of Pearl Jam, Ledbetter Heights, Yellow Ledbetter. When playing, playing a Strat through whatever, a cranked Marshall. Yeah, we love
love it all.
Love it all.
Have you got somebody? You got someone hiding there?
I'll just
She can come and say hello and say goodbye for us to everybody.
2 seconds.
Okay.
Yes.
Great show. Thank you. Thank you,
yes,
everybody, for hanging out with us. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do. We'd love to. We're getting towards the end of the year. We'd love to get How many more? About 800 subscribers to get 10,000 before the end of the year.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Yes, that would be cool. Very cool. But 9,300 is amazing as well for us. Don't underestimate where we've already got to. It's a fantastic achievement.
No
It's
problem,
lovely.
Hottie. Glad you think it's good. He's worth checking out. Definitely.
Definitely.
Happy
Hey!
birthday,
Oh, thank you so much.
Happy
Look at that.
birthday to you. I want to score. I want to score. Happy birthday, Simon Brad.
Happy birthday, Simon.
Make a wish for
Thank
Simon.
you very much.
I'm going to wish for great Stratocaster tones.
God bless you.
Lovely.
Great Stratocaster
Lovely.
tones. You can't beat that one, folks.
Anyway,
Lovely. Thank you so
guys.
much. That's fantastic.
Hey, bye. And everyone in the chat, I'm back to Sydney tomorrow and I'll be back in the chat next Sunday. Hope to see you all there scoring. The only other lady in the chat, Holly, my friend. Hi.
Yeah.
And hi to everyone. And bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Andrew.
Thank you
Bye,
for hanging
Simon.
out with us.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Fantastic. Nice to
Happy
see you, Ellen.
birthday,
Thank you
Simon.
so much. Thank you so
Bye.
much. That's very kind. Take care, all. Have a good week.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, Brad, that's real nice, man. Thank you. Brad saying it's great to see you slowly getting back on track. I wish you an abundance of success moving forward in all areas of your life, brother. Man, thank you, Brad. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And of course, in return, for you too. Always. Always. I know you've been through a lot. So it's great to see you as well back on track and kicking ass and taking names. And I understand that we might actually have a little chat on your show. So thank you for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. I don't know, Brad, if you want to share with our community here, our friends, just the name of your show online where people can find out certainly about your guests, but also about what you guys are all chatting about, what you're doing. And Brad, as we all know, is and if you don't know, he's a super talented musician, amazing guitar player, and from Australia. And we've had him on many times and had some wonderful chats, and just a super warm-hearted, talented dude. Jimmy, yes, I believe that is the 5150 show, but let's see if Brad will chime in and leave a link. And in the meantime, I've got Tech, Jimmy, and